We'll start everything off. It's Monday, October 7th, weekly Mississippi Farm Bureau press conference. This past weekend here at Parker Field at McCool Stadium, your Statesman football team defeated Shawan 54 to 9. So this week they go on the road to Pensacola to face West Florida. So without further ado, I'll bring up head coach of the Statesman football team, Todd Cooley.
Good afternoon. Glad everybody's here. Talk about that game a little bit. I was really pleased, similar with how we played. Thought we did some really good things in all three phases. Thought we played well. Blocked a couple of kicks, which was great. And I felt like we played really hard defensively and offensively, and I was excited about that. And I was excited, with fall break, being honest, I didn't think that the crowd was as good as it has been, but the crowd that was there was very loud, and I think everybody had a good time for Breast Cancer Awareness Night. And good night. Stayed relatively healthy, but now we got to turn the page, going to Pensacola to play a very good football team in West Florida like they always are, a team that's just held Mississippi College to 7 yards of total offense. I just said 7. That's exactly what it was. They held them to 7 yards of offense. I don't think I've seen that in a long time. They are very talented. They are at the top of the leaderboard in our league in a lot of categories, in special teams as well, leading in net punting, leading in net kickoffs, leading in punt return yards, leading in second in kickoff return yardage. They're tremendous special teams. And defensively, they're playing at a high level. Offensively, they've got weapons. They have not played as consistently as they would like to, but I know Coach Nobles and his staff, they always do a great job offensively, and they're going to be dangerous offensively as well. It's just a really good football team we're about to go play, and we're going to have to play the best game, probably the best team we've played this year, without a doubt, on film. And we're going to have our hands full, and we're going to have a great week of preparation. And our routine's a little off right now because of fall break, so we're having to deal with that. And but hey, nobody feels sorry for us. We got to get ready to roll. It's homecoming for them. I'm sure they're gonna have a big turnout. It's a tough place to play, so it's all in front of us. We got to go to work. It's Gulf South football, and it's truly Gulf South football this week, and it's gonna be a challenge.
Coach, I noticed y'all had 3 players recognized by the Gulf South Conference.
Did we? Okay, cool.
One of them, Jonathan
James.
James. Just talk about what he does on the football field that makes him dangerous as far as being able to block kids.
I just think he's got good anticipation. He's got good timing. He's fearless. He believes he's going to block it, and I think that's half the battle. He started doing it in fall camp, and finally got a couple the other night, and hopefully that trend continues. That's kind of like it gets contagious at times, when you start blocking them. So hopefully you'll continue to do that. But yeah, Jono works hard, and great kid, and just glad we got him. And I think he's bought into this Delta State family, and just love being around him every day. So really proud for him.
And Amir Taylor, I noticed he had an excellent game. Talk about his performance.
Just plays hard, man. Amir's going to be a pilot. Super intelligent young man from Starkville, played at East Mississippi. Really good young man, plays hard. Just that I think that's the thing that he tries to be, is just he tries to play desperately and tries to play relentlessly. And I'm really proud of him and that game that he played Saturday night.
Now, overall, of course, the week prior, y'all had gotten ready for a trip, got postponed. Of course, there's always that week to prepare. Of course, obviously, looking at the results, things turned out right. Talk about how ready the guys were, because it seemed like they were well rested and didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, I was pleased with that. I thought we started better. I know Michael had talked to me about that after the game, and I felt like we did some things differently leading up to the game that helped that. And I felt like we were well rested, I guess. We took care of our bodies. We were prepared. Like I told you now, Erskine was a 3-safety defense. Shawan was a 3-safety defense. So there was a lot of similarities going into those 2 weeks, which helped us from an offensive standpoint. And I think defensively we've been playing pretty well all year, but getting the special teams rolling a little bit and, with what we did, and Parker Burleson had a big night. Doesn't talk about enough, but I think he's got well over 20 touchbacks this year. I think 25 or something like that if I read it right. But he's kicking it really well for us, and so that's helped out a lot. And we were able. Nick Herbert was good again, just does what he normally does, and then we were able to get Wyatt Guidry in there for his first extra point as a statesman. And then he turned up and followed up with a touchback himself. So I was really pleased with our kicking game the other night. And obviously you already talked about Jonathan and what he did with the block kicks.
And as far as the quarterbacks, I noticed you were able to get Garrett Ames in, as well as Jake Lang and Cole Kirk.
And Reed Miller. Got them all in. Sure did. Those guys worked hard. Garrett and Reed work hard every day, and I just felt like it was an opportunity to get them in the game. I thought Cole, played pretty well for the most part. Jake did some good things when he was in there, and then, of course, Garrett and Reed were just running our offense at the end. But, man, those guys have earned the right to get on the field, and thought that was good for them. So I was glad we got to get them all in the game.
And of course, moving forward to West Florida, I imagine this is, of course, every game in the conference has a rivalry feel to it, but particularly this game with West Florida, I imagine this is one you don't have to do too much motivation for the players.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. You wouldn't think so. That we've got a ton of respect for what West Florida has accomplished, and those are the teams that you really get excited to play. And obviously we've played them as much as anybody over the last few years. Played them twice in 22, twice in 23. All been tough games and well-fought games and things of that nature. So we're going to have to play our best game of the season. There's no doubt about it. They're really good, and everybody can talk about it. They're 2-2, but look at their schedule. West Alabama's playing extremely well. They got beaten a heartbreaker by them. Grand Valley's number 2 in the country for a reason. So they're a good football team, and you play people like that. Sometimes you're going to come up on the wrong side of the column. So, but they are good in all 3 phases, and it's going to take extreme effort from us. A great week of preparation, and we're going to have to go try to play our best football.
As far as that atmosphere at Pensacola, what's the crowd like when y'all go down?
Right on top of you, and it's really awesome, to be honest. They're I think have plans to build a stadium. They can speak more on that than I can, but that's just what I've heard through talks with Coach Nobles in the off season. But they do a really good job there at Penn Air Field, I believe is the name of it, and they're right on top of you. Band's right on top of you. There's not a lot of room, and it's packed out. People on the hills, and with homecoming, it's going to be, I imagine, pretty full up there. So, or down there, I should say. So, we know we're going into a tough environment. We've been there before, and they do a good job on game days down there. So it ought to be good. Hopefully, we'll have some people travel with us too. I'd like to see a lot of green, our green, not their green, in the stands. So that'd be great as well.
As far as the rivalry, how would you best describe it? Is it a bitter one, or is it one just about respect in terms of just the overall emotions that afforded to the game?
I just think they want to beat us and we want to beat them. I think that's just the best way. That's what a rivalry is supposed to be about. At times it's gotten better through the years. I think that's just good college football. But at the end of the day, like I said, we have a ton of respect for them, and I think they feel the mutual respect of the things that we do up here. And good rivalry, good college football game, and it's what this league was built on. And it's amazing what they've been able to accomplish in a short period of time as a football program, and that's why I respect them and what they've done. But you always want to try to beat them, no doubt about it. And they want to beat us, and that's what's going to make it interesting on Saturday afternoon.
And as you touched on preparing for a team, I don't know, like 5 times now in the last couple of years, a few years now, in terms of just the nuances of the matchups, is it just a matter of mano and mano when it comes to 2 teams, the way you ever played each other over
Right.
the years, or is it just a matter of we got to look at and try to find maybe just a little crack in the armor, little small details, but in terms of just your approach facing a team so many times,
Yeah.
in terms of preparation, how does that play into it?
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to look back and look at what they do, and they've made adjustments, we make adjustments and things like that, but they are who they are, and we're going to be who we are, and that's when it gets down, when that gets really fun, because then it gets down to execution and who can win the one-on-one matchups, who can block and tackle, and they do a really good job of that. But they put you in a lot of stress, man. They do a great job with what they're doing in all 3 phases to put stress on what you're trying to do, so it keeps you up late at night and trying to get your players any advantage that we can going into that thing on Saturday. But at the end of the day, it's still gonna it's football, man. It's gonna come down to who blocks better, who takes care of the ball more, and who makes the least amount of mistakes, and that's what it's going to come down to. I would imagine on Saturday, but we got to go prepare for a 4-quarter battle, man, and we got to go. Last time we were down there, it was 4 quarters and 2 overtimes, so similar to what they played against West Alabama earlier this year. So they're a tough team, always have been, always will be, and like I said, we're going to play really good ball this week.
As far as playoffs, I know that's weeks away, but
Mm-hmm.
In terms of just the significance of this game, is that something in the back of your mind in terms of when the regions come out?
Not. I mean, right now, what's in the back of our minds is this conference and this league, and this is a big game within the league this week. I think this is the biggest game in the league this week, and that's the game everybody's going to be looking to see. This is the game of the week, I think, in this league. But I would say that anyway because it's our game. It's the only game we get to play this week. So I'm kind of biased when it comes to that. But I just think it's big on the conference standings. And, they know with where they were ranked preseason-wise and all that, and they know, last year with playoff implications, it's a big game for them too. And so it's why you come to Delta State. It's why you go to West Florida is playing games like this. So that's why it's a big one to me. We can't even worry about that other stuff right now. We just got to worry about trying to win meetings this afternoon and start getting a plan together that we can hopefully execute on Saturday. I know, it's going to be a playoff atmosphere. It's going to be a great atmosphere and all that good stuff on Saturday. So if you can't get excited for this one, then I don't know why you're here, to be honest with you. Talking about from our player standpoint, that's what I'll tell my players.
Coming off a game like you had this past weekend, anything that you can improve on?
Oh, yeah.
In terms of what maybe you saw that said, hey guys,
Yeah.
you can't get complacent, but just talk a little about maybe some of the
Sure.
maybe moments in the game that you weren't pleased with and trying to move forward.
Right.
So it's hard maybe to find something wrong after a big
Right.
game that you had.
Well, you take, but there's always stuff we need to work on. I thought we got out of lanes at times on our kickoff coverage. I think we got a little lax because Parker was kicking them so deep out of the end zone, and we kind of got away from our discipline there. I felt like at times our quarterback Cole had a really good football game, but I felt like at times he'd be the first one to tell you we got to get his eyes a little bit better in some certain places, and that's not on him, that's on me as his coach. So that's a couple of things right off the jump. We got to see, we got stopped down there on the goal line one time. That can't happen. It looked like we had a jailbreak through there on us, and that's not characteristic of us. So we didn't get to score that time in the red zone, and that's uncharacteristic of us, and that's something we got to improve on. Substitutions on special teams late in the game, kind of got like a little bit, it was a fun environment and all that, but we got a little lax late in the game, and we had to call for a couple guys because they were over there on the sideline. talking to other guys about the plays they had just made, and being too much of fans at that point instead of players. And so those are things that we've got to address as well. So there's a lot. We're not a finished product. Now I do think that was probably our most complete game that we've played to this point. I think I would agree with that, but at the same time, it's never always as good as it seems. You know, you go back and watch the tape, like, man, we missed that, we missed this. We pulled to the wrong people at times, you know, and some different looks. So there's all kinds of things that we've got to do better, no doubt about it. Missed a protection one time, late communication. So those are just things that are coming to my mind right now after the game that we can get better at.
And you kind of touched on this a little earlier, Coach, but if you don't mind maybe elaborating. In terms of piggyback what Andy said as far as motivation, you don't have to say much, but in terms of the new guys coming in, new to this rivalry, something that has to be maybe stressed to them, how important, how big of a game this is?
Yeah, I think it's more like you just got to talk to them about, hey, you're gonna know. You know, if you don't know right now, we'll start talking about it today in meetings, but you'll figure it out pretty quickly. You know, as soon as you get there, that you know, it's a big ball game. If you don't know by now, but you know, like I said, man, it's two good football teams fixing to play on Saturday, and we're just going to play. Like I said, we're going to play a better game than the last time we were on the road. You know, just to be honest with you, and we got to play a lot better than that. And you know, it's going to be interesting to see. But they like I said, they are a really good football team. They're going to be playing. I know Coach Nobles. I know his staff. They're going to come out ready to roll. I wouldn't expect it any other way. And we're going to have to, you know, match that intensity ourselves. And I think that's going to be the job of our staff this week as well, is to get our guys ready to go. Anybody else? Thank y'all very much. Go Statesman.
Thank you, Coach Cooley. Up next, a team that played 3 games in 7 days with the sport of soccer. That's very tough, and to come out with, I would say, 5 points is very impressive. So up next is men's soccer coach Austin Jackman.
How you guys doing? Thanks for coming out. Yeah, like Braden said, it's been a long week. Excuse me, you probably can tell with my voice, and a lot of travel and all that, but super proud of the group. Monday, complete professional performance against Union to get our first conference win on the board, and then traveling up to CBU on a Friday evening. Never easy going away from home, especially going to CBU. That was their first home game of the year due to weather, so they were definitely up for it. They got an early goal, and we just kept plugging away. They did a really good job in the second half. Just breaking play up, not letting us find a rhythm, and we just kept plugging away, and super proud of the guys to find a way at the end and score an 87th minute goal to tie it. So super proud of them there. And then long bus ride to Harding yesterday, and a little disappointed to not see the game out 1-0, but like I said, legs were heavy, 3 games in 7 days, so 5 points is good. So I'll open it up to any questions.
Go through a stretch like that where you play 3 games, no losses, able to get a win. Just what? First off, do you feel that the more soccer the guys are playing right now, do you feel like they're really starting to find themselves and find their rhythm and what they do best together?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Monday that was probably our best performance of the year, and then we built on that leading into Friday, and that was our best performance up to date. And then, I mean, like I said, the 3 games in 7 days. Yesterday was a little rough. Legs were heavy. Had to travel 3.5 hours on bus. So I think we're just finding form, and I mean, we got a big one Friday, as you guys know, with Mississippi College. So we got back to work this morning for a little bit, for about 45 minutes. They'll be off till Wednesday with fall break, and then it's back to it, getting ready for MC. So hopefully hitting gear in the right time and starting to build better relationships.
Looking at the games, it seems like there's kind of a different person scoring that goal, and that's got to be something you got to like when everybody, when looking for opportunities and looking for chances to take to put y'all on the board.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, Cyrus got his first one on Monday. Ryan got his second on Monday as well. And then Santi got his first Friday, and Hardy opened up his score sheet this Sunday. So it's good that different guys are stepping up, and I think it helps us when opponents look at us because we can score goals in a multitude of ways, and different guys can step up. Yeah. Yeah. They definitely look at it more than I do. I try to just take it a game at a time. Because in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter where you are in the conference table right now. It matters where you are in a month from now, and I think last year kind of proved that. So we're in a good spot, but we still got to take it game by game, day by day, and ask me that question in a month. So.
Now, Mississippi College coming up. Of course, it's going to be here. Y'all are kind of proving that y'all play well at Delta Field. You got to feel good about having a team like that here right now.
Yeah, it's a weird one because I think it's like the first time in like 3 or 4 years that we've actually played them here. It's been a while. So, fans, we ask that you come out Friday at 3 p.m. We're going to need you. It's a massive, massive game. And kind of like Coach Cooley said, there's really not much to say. If you can't get up for that, I can't really help you. So, yeah.
The MC game, I think they're just ahead of you in the standings right now. Is there any significance behind the importance of the game based on the way the standings are right now?
Not necessarily. It's just another game, a big game though. It wouldn't really matter if they were first or 12th. It's a rivalry, or in soccer we call it a derby. So it's the Mississippi Derby, and you can kind of throw records away when two big rivals meet. So.
I was just curious, the comment you said that it's the first time you played here against MC in a while. Why has that been the case?
Just scheduling, I think. I think it's been at least 2 or 3 years since we've had them at home. So I know when I was down in Jackson in a previous job, I went and watched them a couple times. So.
In terms of just rallying your troops for this game, it's kind of touched on what we mentioned with Coach Cooley. Do you have to say much in terms of the in-state part of this matchup?
No, I think the guys know. They know what's at stake, and they know it's a big game, and we're going to get MC's best shot after last year in the conference tournament. So we know what's at stake, and I believe the guys will be up for it Friday. So
does that add any little bit, you think, more fuel to the fire with MC last year in terms of the way it played out?
For sure. Yeah. For sure. But we know. I mean, they're going to be up for it. We got to match it and be up for it as well. So thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. Go Statesman.
Thank you, Austin. Same thing for women's soccer. They didn't play 3 games, but they did play 2 games in 5 days, and both ended with ties. Union ended up being down 2-0, came back to tie at 2-2, and also scored a late goal against Mississippi College, and I believe it may have been the first time in a while we had a tie or anything but a loss against Mississippi College here at Delta Field last Friday. So without further ado, let's bring Chloe Kane.
Hello, yes. Obviously really pleased with our performances last week. Obviously not easy going down in both games, but I think kind of shows great spirit, great fight and character from the girls to get us back into both games. And obviously when we go into these games, is that always the result we're looking for? A tie? No, not quite, but we'll take 2 conference points and hopefully use it to build on and look to turn those ties into wins as we head into a big week this week. So, any questions?
Overall, just these 2 games, what's the biggest thing that that you saw out of your girls? Because I mean, having to make up on Monday and then turning around Friday. Of course, soccer's always a very very tough game where everybody trip on each other, knock on each other. To play 2 games like that and to come out with again 2 ties, what does that say about the resiliency of the girls?
Yeah, I think resilience is definitely a good word to use. I think especially going into that Union game last week, doesn't always happen this way, but game day seemed to keep getting further and further away. So obviously something that we're not always quite used to, but I mean, it's credit to the girls. They stayed focused throughout the weekend and worked really hard in practice. And obviously going into that game on Monday, we had certain things and ways that we wanted to play, especially defensively. And yeah, I think the girls, obviously minus probably a few moments and obviously goals that we conceded, I think they executed that plan very well. And I think, when you look back to the start of our season, we go 3 goals down against Clayton State very early. And we kind of rolled over, gave up, and I won't lie, like when we were 2-0 down against Union, I was really intrigued to see, okay, how are we going to respond, and credit to the girls, they fought back, they fought hard, and they got us into that game. And I think, at the end of the day, we're probably a little bit unfortunate that we didn't get a win. I think we had a good chance at the end of the game where we could have won it. And yeah, again, just need to be more clinical and take those chances and not kind of dig ourselves holes early into games.
Now, as far as the veteran leadership on the team, how have those girls done? Because it seems like a lot of your veterans are kind of stepping up in key moments.
Yeah, I think if you look at last week, the players who were scoring, obviously Jay scored a fantastic goal last Monday to get us back into that game, and then obviously Webby, we know what we're going to get from Ava Webster. She's cool, calm, and very composed. So when that penalty came up, I think everyone kind of trusts that Webby can handle the business there. So obviously fantastic in those two. And then I think when you look to MC, I think as Braden said, I think historically we've never beat MC, and that was our goal on Friday was to beat them. The way the game played out, it obviously didn't quite happen that way, but we fought and we battled pretty much that entire second half, and you're just waiting for the chance to come. And obviously Robin wins the free kick, she plays it into a really dangerous area, and Chloe Jackson's there to put it in the back of the net. And that's what we need from our seniors. We need them to stand up and rise to the occasion and kind of take control in those moments where we need something to happen. So I think it's credit to those guys, credit to their leadership and just willingness and desire to make things happen and allow this team to succeed and have positive results.
Talk about the play of the goalkeepers. I know y'all had a lot of games where y'all done a pretty good job in kind of keeping them bored a little bit, but it seems like when the time comes for them to make a play or make a save, they're getting better and better at that every game.
Yeah, I think we're rotating goalkeepers right now, and I think it's credit to both Liv and Bailey. When their moment arises, that they're ready and they rise to the occasion. And I think more than anything from them too, I think that comes from the environment that they create and allow to thrive every day. They push each other every day, and yeah, they compete really hard against each other, but then when it comes to game time, they're always supporting the other one, and obviously vice versa. And yeah, I think goalkeeping, it's a confidence-based position, and hopefully now as we're getting into conference play, they're both kind of finding their rhythm and both coming up clutch in kind of solid moments where we really need them. So
looking at the conference standings, the ties lately, it seemed like has y'all at a respectable position at this point. Just talk about that. Are you looking at that, or is that a situation where maybe the players are looking at that a little bit?
Yeah, I think we're all kind of keeping an eye. I mean, across the board in the conference, there's been a lot of ties last week, and a lot of really close games. I think if you look at yesterday, AUM and Huntsville, like it's 3-2 game, and like there's just so many close games right now. And and like also like there's also a lot of teams that we haven't all played the same amount of games, so it is kind of tough to look at it because we've played less games than some teams, and some teams have played more. Valdosta, obviously, with the Storm and unfortunate situation for them, they've played obviously quite substantially less games than some teams. So yeah, we're taking a look at it, and yeah, we're hoping that obviously I kind of look at one team when I look at that, and that's us, and we want to add more points to our tally and go as high as we can. And I think in another few weeks' time, that'll kind of mean more to us, and we'll kind of know where we need to be and what we need to do to get there. So
now this upcoming weekend, y'all got another conference road game.
Yep.
Just talk about that game and that opponent.
Yeah, so obviously tomorrow we're traveling up to Memphis to face CBU tomorrow in a game that obviously means a lot to a lot of our players, and a game that we want to win. And we want to win every game, but I think for the players this is one they especially want to win. Obviously a tough start for CBU right now, and I think going into that game tomorrow we can't be complacent. We have a job to do tomorrow, and that's to go there and get 3 points, but we know it's not going to be easy. I think if there's any team that CBU probably wants to beat right now, I'm sure we're top of that list, so we can't be complacent. We have to go there and be relentless and do good things in the final third and kind of take control, take lead, and make things happen so we can get a positive result. And then obviously look ahead to next weekend. We play Montevallo, another really tough team. I think they're 5-1 in conference right now. They lost to Union in the 89th minute the other day. So again, it just goes to show like how close the conference is right now. So yeah, I think that Montevallo will be a tough game, but another game that we take it in our stride. We go into every game looking for a positive result, and obviously on the road, it's never easy, but I believe in our players. I believe in the group that we have, and seeing how connected and together the group is right now, I think that kind of puts us in a good spot to go into any game and have a positive result.
You touched on when you fall behind, just the last two games, and how let's hear for the Union game, you fell behind 2-0, but you came back and forced the tie. I know you said you give a lot of credit to your players, but perhaps how much credit goes to maybe the adjustments that you make when you fall behind?
Yeah, I think I think if you look at both of those games, we started both of those games really well. And both Union and MC, they get a goal early on, and it kind of takes the wind out of our sails. And then I think, at half-time, we probably, if you look at a lot of our games, we have been a little bit of a second-half team. Generally speaking, we do play better in the second halves. And some adjustments here and there, I think we made on Friday, we made a slight adjustment with our formation, and it allowed us to have success. But, I don't think that comes, obviously we make the decisions, but the players are the one that execute it, and I think the credit needs to go to them. They buy into what we're asking them to do, and they're the ones that go out there and get it done. So I think the credit goes to them more than anything.
In terms of the conference from top to bottom, let's talk about just that competitive nature of each and every team.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like, as you mentioned, like week to week, these games are tight, and it says, I guess, speaks volumes about how competitive this conference is from top to bottom. There are no gimmies in this conference, so to speak.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I think every game's a tough game, and I think any game can go either way, and I think, traditionally, like you look at MC, like arguably one of the top 3 teams in this conference, but that doesn't mean to say that we can't go and get a positive result. And I think you see that throughout the conference right now. I think anyone can beat anyone, and it's just who wants it more on the day more than anything. All right, thank you for your questions. Thank you for your time. Go Statesman.
Thank you, Chloe. And as always, I'll give the spiel this week. Chloe Kane mentioned it tomorrow. The Lady Statesmen go to Christian Brothers, the Battle of the Buccaneers, at 5:00 p.m. Lone home match this weekend is, as Osman said, the Derby, the Mississippi Derby between Mississippi College and your Statesmen here at Delta Field. It'll be 3 o'clock Friday afternoon. Hopefully a lot of people show up. That's the lone home event this week. Your Statesman football team hit the road Saturday to go to West Florida, cross country on the road to Alabama Huntsville, and your Lady Statesman soccer team will go Saturday to Montevallo. So hope you guys all enjoy the weekend. As always, go Statesman.